Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So, interesting video. This is about cryptids. I saw a cryptid. And that helped to shatter my belief in experts, which had already been shattered between the ages of 5 and 15. In one place I had three sets of teeth, and a science teacher told me, nah. But you could also see in his expression that he wasn't sure. And I was thinking, look, I've just told you something I've been through. That's the third tooth in that location. And he didn't accept that. And I started to think, these people know what they've been taught, but that's the limit of their knowledge. So let's get started. 3 ways my illusions were shattered to the point that I started to think that experts do not exist. So these all come from a holiday in Tasmania I took with my brother. First one is a cryptid. So let's get started with that. So we're in Tassie, near Launceston, not too far off from Launceston, which is the city in the north. And we're walking in the forest. And we're near the car, heading back to the car. And I see it's actually a picnic ground in a forest. And the thing about Tasmania is there's only 400 to 500,000 people there, at least 10 years ago. There might be more now. And so there's, if you want to see virgin forest, you will see it in Tasmania. Virgin forest, lichen hanging off a tree like your arm, endless rain in some areas, mountains, remote. Anything could live there. Who knows? So I turned around and I saw this dog was scavenging near a bin. It was looking for scraps, and I thought, straight away, my brain output the following. It told me, Charles, that's not a dog. It's not a... And maybe you've had this feeling. You look at something and you think, what am I looking at? What did I just see? What am I looking at? And your brain is confused. And when your brain is confused, that's the first hint that you've met with something slightly paranormal or not normal. There's a confusion there. And you think, that's different to the data I've received before. It didn't quite act like a dog or look like a dog. There was something wrong with it. And I started to think it was marsupial-like. Australian marsupials, when you go to Tasmania, you see different animals to the mainland. They're slow, they're a bit more feminine with their long bodies, and they look a bit weaker than the Australian animals. They're not as fast, and you can see why these animals were wiped out on the mainland but survive in Tasmania, because they're just not as strong. The Tasmanian devil, for example, that's actually a fox, a marsupial fox. It's very slow to escape from the car, so you see lots of dead ones, unfortunately, on the roads, which are devoid of cars. I didn't hardly see any cars on the roads. We were driving across the mountain range and highways, and we hardly saw any cars. Amazing driving there. Beautiful roads, new roads as well. But anyway, this creature, and I went for the camera in the car. I need to take a photo of this. I thought straight away, I need to take a photo of this because I don't know what that is. Now, I know what a dog looks like. I'm not dumb. I know what a dog looks like. We all know what a dog looks like. So why was I reaching for the camera to take a photo of something if it was just a dog? Oh, I need to take a photo of this. What the hell is this? A really long body. What is this thing? When I turned around to look at it again, it was gone. That's it. It was gone. Okay. Right. That's interesting. Okay. Now, while still in Tasmania, I met a park ranger, and I actually told him about this. Now, what do you think his reaction was? Did he say, Charlie, you're telling stories? What was his reaction? Now, this guy, actually, he was an expert in Tasmania, but he was open-minded, and he said it could be a new species. And this is a park ranger. He said it could be a new species. So I like that. That's someone who is willing to learn and to listen. I like that. That's good. I really like that. So I thought, okay, that means I did see something strange. Like I told him it was like a black Tasmanian tiger, basically, a black one. Right, okay. When I got home, I sent an email to the Cryptid Society, and they said they basically brushed me off, and the guy said, "Oh, it's probably nothing. There's probably nothing there. It's a small country." And I thought, you guys are cryptid. I was thinking, you guys are cryptid experts, and you don't believe stories about cryptids. Something's not right here. So this year, 10 years later, I'm looking online, and I go to the article on dingoes, and I see, oh, they're actually black ones. Oh, okay. Now, there's no dingoes in Tassie, right? But there are black dingoes, dark ones. And I saw a picture from the 1700s, a painting, and I'll show it to you now in this video. There it is, a dog of New Holland. And I looked at that and I said, damn, that's very close to what I saw. It's just a goofy appearance on this thing. But the one I saw was actually a bit longer and a bit weird. So I thought, wow, here is actually some confirmation. So what I have told the experts, this cryptozoologist who didn't believe me, the park ranger who was not a cryptid expert but did believe me, because he damn well worked there. So experts don't really know their stuff. What I'm thinking is some of those darker dingoes are possibly hybridized with what I saw. Or what I saw is a hybrid with a Tassie tiger, because we know dogs hybridize endlessly. So I saw some kind of hybrid, and the same kind of hybrid but mixed with a dingo survives in Australia, and that's what was painted in that picture. Next story. So the next story, temperatures. Do they even get the temperatures right? So we were driving in central Tassie, and I didn't know how cold it got there. We camped on the coast. It was normal, like a normal camping. We were there just at the start of winter. We went south into the high country, and I didn't think the temperatures would be that much different at night time, but it was really cold in the tent. Like, it was freezing, so we couldn't sleep. But following morning, we put everything we could on top of all the clothes, but it was so cold. And when you're at that temperature, it feels like the cold is trying, you're probably familiar with it if you're American or European, it feels like the cold is trying to steal, it's biting you and it's trying to steal the heat out of you. It's very different to normal cold, which is just pleasant by comparison. So anyway, following morning, it's actually at a caravan park in the mountains. It seemed to be on top of a mountain. It had a view of another mountain over there and valleys. And the woman in the caravan park said, I'm just checking to see if you're still alive because it went down to minus 13 Celsius last night. Oh, okay. I get home and I look up temperature records. Back to Melbourne, it's much warmer. It feels like you've changed seasons. Our winter is nothing compared to Tassie winter. And it showed that in that central region of Tassie where we were, it has Alaska-like temperatures. So that's what I'm comparing it to, right? And we did a second night there as well, but we had to start a fire, and that's when I realised, so the reason campers start fires, it's not to cook food or marshmallows or tell stories, it's just to get warm enough to go to sleep. Because when you're really cold, you cannot sleep. It's a survival thing that you can't sleep. And that, of course, tells me that ancient people must have built houses just to get to sleep. You're not going to sleep through a cold European winter without a house. And there aren't enough caves to go around in Europe, believe me, even with all the mining they've done. Right, so the illusion of expertise was shattered when I saw that region only gets down to minus 6, and that's a record. Tassie Mountains, minus 6, and it snows there. It's very cold. It's like Scotland, basically, or colder. And I thought, that's not right. This woman told me it was minus 13. Even if her thermometer is wrong, she lives there. She would know better than a weatherman, say in Victoria. Hardly anyone lives in Tasmania. It's like the 19th century. It's very different there. It's a quieter life. It's a very slow life. It's very different. She would know if her thermometer was off. And it probably was off, but 6 degrees, or 7 degrees, that's a lot to be off. So I started to think, are we even measuring the temperatures correctly? So that shattered my faith in meteorology. I don't think much of it, to be honest. And not many people do. You ask people what they think about forecasts, and lots of them don't. You know, we look at them and we think, okay, but we take it with a grain of salt. Next, I was taught growing up that Tassie Aboriginals were extinct. What happened was we killed off the Tassie tigers. There were rewards for their scalps or pelts because they were attacking the sheep. Australia was founded on a sheep's back. The sheep feed themselves. They love Australia, and we eat them. We just eat them. The early diet was a basic kind of bread called damper, and sheep, and tea from China. That was the early Australian diet for over 100 years. That was the main diet, because it's easier than tending a vegetable patch. It's easier and it's quicker. It's simple. Anyway, the Aboriginals were apparently attacking and killing these sheep and stealing them, so it was thought, okay, let's hunt them down and kill them all. Let's get rid of them, unfortunately. So what happened was this. Apparently there was some genocide. And apparently I was taught growing up that they all became extinct. They were hunted down to extinction. And TV documentaries in the 90s said they were hunted down to extinction. They're all gone. So I'm in a Tassie supermarket. It's in a remote part of Tassie. And, at the shelf, and, that's interesting. That guy looks like a picture of a Tasmanian Aboriginal, but maybe mixed with a white man as well. What's going on here? Looks like they're not extinct after all. Some of them have mixed, or maybe they're still alive as purebloods. Who knows? But you go around Tassie, and there are some ancient cave sites, and the signs will say the Tasmanian Aboriginals had a culture here, however they are extinct so they cannot tell us the stories. Now I'm looking online and I'm seeing, the Tasmanian Aboriginals are not extinct, it's a myth, and some survive and they have their own language which they're trying to re-establish. Oh, that's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Wow. So what experts were telling me and what reality is are two different things. Experts are people with bigger opinions than others and are good at manipulating people into thinking their opinions are sometimes better than others. As a rule, I think a lot of experts are like that. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and that's partly why I doubt experts today, based on many other reasons. So if some archaeologist is coming up and saying this is the way it was, no, he just doesn't know enough to change his mind. Simple as that. So guys, thank you so much, and cheerio. So this lizard tail's been going for about a minute, and he was faster before, now he's slowing down, running out of energy. But damn, they have a lot of stored energy. Wow, look at that, he's just going and going and going. It just keeps flipping upside down. It just keeps flipping, that's all it does, it just flips. Flip, flop, flip, flop. It's going for 2 minutes already. Flip, flop, flip, flop. Flip, flop, flip, flop. Flip, flop, flip, flop. Flip, flop. Come on.